production of a Chekhov play, and he's adapted it into a Berkoffian style. So it's going to be very interesting and funny. So hope you enjoy.
Ladies and, so to speak, gentlemen, it was suggested to my wife that I give a public lecture here for charity. Well, if I must, I must. It's all the same to me. I'm not a professor, and I never finished the university. But yet, nevertheless, over the past 30 years, I've been ruining my health by constant, unceasing examinations of matters of strictly scientific nature. I'm a man of intellectual curiosity, and if you can't imagine, at times I read essays on scientific matters. Well, not exactly scientific, but if you'll pardon me, approximately scientific. Why? I just finished a long article entitled On the Harmfulness of Certain Insects. My daughters liked it immensely, especially the part about bedbugs. But I just read over and tore it up. What difference does it make if such things are written? You still gotta have insect powder. We have bedbugs, even in our grand piano. For my lecture today, I have taken, so to speak, the harm done to mankind by the use of tobacco. I myself smoke, but my wife told me to lecture on the harmfulness of tobacco, so what's to be done? Tobacco it is. It's all the same to me. But kind ladies and gentlemen, I urge you to take my lecture today with all due seriousness, or something awful may happen. If any of you are afraid of a dry, scientific lecture, can't stomach that sort of thing, you needn't listen. You may leave. Are there any doctors present? If you could just go through to waiting room B, please, thank you. Then I insist you listen carefully, for my lecture will contain much useful information, since tobacco, besides being harmful, contains certain medical properties. For example, if you took a fly and put him in a snuff box, bang, he will die. Probably from nervous exhaustion. I'm a very nervous man. Generally speaking. I started blinking years ago. September 13th, 1989 to be precise, the very day my wife gave birth, so to speak, to our fourth daughter, Barbara. All my daughters are born on the 13th. However, time at our disposal is strictly limited, and I see I have digressed from the subject. Let us continue. I must tell you, by the way, that my wife runs a boarding school. Well, not exactly a boarding school, but approximately a boarding school, just between us. My wife likes to complain about hard times, but she's put away a little nest egg, some 40 or 50,000. As for me, I haven't $1 to my name, not a penny. But what's the use of dwelling on that? At my wife's school, it is my lot to look after the housekeeping. I buy supplies, look after the servants, keep the books, stitch together the exercise books, exterminate bedbugs, bang! Take my wife's little dog for walks. Catch mice. Gotcha, you bastard. So, last night, it fell to me to kick the cooked flour, and butter, for tomorrow's breakfast. Well, to make a long story short, when the pancakes were ready, my wife came into the kitchen and said that 3 of the students would not be eating today because they had swollen glands. So it seems we have a few too many pancakes. What to do with them? At first, my wife ordered them to be stored away, but then she thought a while, and she said, "Why don't you eat them, you scarecrow?" That's what she calls me when she's out of humor. Scarecrow, or viper, or devil. What kind of a devil am I? I didn't just eat those pancakes. I wolfed them down. I'm always hungry. Why, yesterday, she gave me no dinner. She says, "What's the point of feeding you, you scarecrow?" However, it seems we have again digressed from the subject. Let us continue. I should tell you, by the way, that at my wife's school, apart from the housekeeping, my duties also include teaching mathematics, physics, chemistry, geography, history, vocal training, la 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 la, literature, to be or not to be. That is the question. And so forth. For singing, dancing, drawing, my wife charges extra. Cha-ching! But the singing and dancing master is yours truly, ba-da-ba! The school can be found at Dog Alley, number 13. 13. I suppose that's why my life's been so unlucky. Teaching at Dog Alley number 13. Oh, my daughter's being born on the 13th. My house is 13 windows, and yes, house number 13, too. I'm a failure. I've grown old and stupid. Here I am, lecturing, and to all appearances, enjoying myself. But I tell you, I've such an urge to scream at the top of my lungs, to run away to the ends of the earth. There's no one to talk to. I just want to weep. What about your daughters, you say, eh? Well, what about them? I try to talk to them, but they only laugh. My wife has 7 daughters. No, sorry, it's 6. No, wait, it is 7. The eldest, Anna, is 27, and the youngest is 17. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm miserable. I've become a fool, a non-entity. But then, all in all, you see before me the happiest of fathers. Why shouldn't I be? Who am I to say I'm not? Oh, if you only knew. I lived with my wife for 33 years, and I can say those are the best years of my life. Well, approximately the best. Well, to hell with them! I don't think my wife has arrived yet. She's not here, so I can say what I like. I'm afraid we all live under the shadow of the bomb! I'm terribly afraid when she looks at me. Well, I was talking about our daughters. They don't get married. Probably because they're so shy, because men can never get near them. My wife doesn't give parties. She doesn't invite anyone over for dinner. She's a stingy, shrewish, ill-tempered old biddy. And that's why no one comes to see us. But I can tell you, confidentially, on holidays, my daughters can be seen at the home of their aunt, Natalie, the one who has rheumatism and wears a yellow dress with black spots that look like cockroaches. Ooh, my joints feel stiff. There, you can eat. And if my wife happens to not be looking, then you'll see me. You'll see that I can get drunk on just one glass. And then I feel so happy. And at the same time, so sad. It's unimaginable. I think of my youth, and then somehow I long to run away, to clear out. Oh, if you only knew how I long to do it. To run away, to be free of everything. To run without ever looking back. Where? Anywhere. So long as it's away from this vile, mean, cheap life that has turned me into a fool. A miserable idiot. To run away from that stupid, petty, hot-headed, spiteful, nasty old miser, my wife, who has given me 33 years of torment. To run away from the music, the kitchen, my wife's bookkeeping ledgers, all those mundane, trivial affairs. Just run away and then stop. Somewhere far, far away, on a hill, and stand there. Like a tree, a pole, a scarecrow, under the great big sky and the still bright moon, and just forget. Simply forget. Oh, how I long to forget. How I long to tear off this waistcoat that I wore 33 years ago in my wedding, and that I still wear at lectures for charity. Take that, and that, and that, and that, and that! I'm a poor, shabby, tattered wretch. Like the back of this waistcoat. I asked for nothing. I'm better than that. I was young once. I went to the university. I had dreams. I thought of myself as a man. But now I want nothing. But peace. Peace. My wife is here. My wife is in the wings waiting for me. Hey, please, if she asks you, tell her that her scarecrow husband, I mean, the lecturer, me, conducted himself with dignity. Oh, she's looking right at me. Given that tobacco contains a deadly poison which I've had the pleasure of describing to you, smoking should at all costs be avoided, and permit me to add my hopes that these observations on the harmfulness of tobacco will have been of some profit to you. And so I conclude, Dixie et animam lewawi. Well, thank you for coming.
I was just